Toyota built its global empire on one simple idea: control the process, protect the quality, and build as much as possible yourself. For decades, that strategy worked. Toyota became one of the world's biggest automakers through manufacturing efficiency, reliability, and hybrid technology. But then the automotive industry changed, and nowhere was that change more dramatic than China. Electric vehicles and plug-in hybrids began taking an enormous share of China's new car market. Chinese manufacturers were launching EVs faster, improving batteries, cutting costs, and pushing software and technology forward at a speed traditional automakers struggled to match. And Toyota suddenly faced a problem. It wasn't that Toyota didn't understand electric vehicles. The problem was time. Building a competitive EV ecosystem from scratch requires batteries, electric motors, software, platforms, charging technology, and an entirely different supply chain. Toyota had decades of experience building cars. BYD had spent years building batteries. And that difference was about to become extremely important. Toyota and BYD created a 50/50 joint venture focused on battery electric vehicle research and development in China. Toyota brought its engineering expertise, manufacturing experience, quality standards, and global automotive knowledge. BYD brought something Toyota desperately needed: deep expertise in batteries and electric vehicle technology. And this wasn't simply a normal supplier relationship. It was a partnership between two companies that could also be viewed as competitors. The result was the Toyota BZ3, an electric sedan developed for the Chinese market using Toyota's vehicle expertise together with BYD's electric technology. And underneath that Toyota badge was one of the most important pieces of EV technology in the entire story: the battery. BYD's Blade battery uses lithium iron phosphate, or LFP chemistry. LFP batteries have become increasingly important because of their thermal stability, durability, and reduced reliance on materials such as nickel and cobalt. But the Blade battery is also about physical design. BYD developed long, flat cells that can be arranged efficiently inside the battery pack. The company has demonstrated the battery in extreme safety testing, including a nail penetration test designed to simulate a severe internal short circuit. According to BYD, the battery completed that test without catching fire. That doesn't mean EV batteries are impossible to damage. They aren't. But it demonstrates why BYD's battery technology became so attractive. Toyota wasn't starting from zero. It could access technology that had already been developed, tested, industrialized, and deployed in a massive EV ecosystem. And that leads to the real reason this partnership matters. Toyota didn't just need a battery. Toyota needed time. Because the Chinese EV market wasn't waiting for Toyota's perfect electric strategy. Competitors were moving, customers were changing, and every year Toyota waited created another opportunity for companies like BYD to gain ground. So the BZ3 became more than another electric sedan. It became a bridge between Toyota's present and its electric future. Toyota could use existing EV technology to maintain a presence in China while continuing to develop its own next-generation technologies. And this is where Toyota's strategy gets even more interesting. The company has been investing heavily in next-generation batteries, including solid-state technology. Toyota has targeted the commercialization of all solid-state batteries for battery electric vehicles around 2027 to 2028. If successful, solid-state batteries could potentially deliver major improvements in energy density, charging performance, and overall EV capability. But there is a problem. A battery can look revolutionary in a laboratory and still be incredibly difficult to manufacture reliably and affordably at automotive scale. That's why Toyota's partnership strategy may actually make sense. Imagine Toyota waiting for its perfect next-generation battery before aggressively competing in EVs. The market doesn't wait. BYD doesn't wait. Tesla doesn't wait. And Chinese EV manufacturers certainly don't wait. So Toyota appears to be taking a different approach. Use proven technology where necessary. Learn from the market. Maintain competitiveness. And continue investing in the technology Toyota believes could define its next generation of electric vehicles. In other words, Toyota may not be trying to beat BYD using BYD's own strategy. It may be trying to survive long enough to play a different game. And that changes how we should look at the Toyota-BYD partnership. It isn't necessarily Toyota admitting that BYD has won. It's Toyota acknowledging that the automotive industry has changed. In the gasoline era, engines, transmissions, manufacturing scale, and production efficiency were among the biggest competitive advantages. In the EV era, batteries and software can completely change the equation. BYD understood that early. The company didn't just build electric cars. It invested deeply into batteries, electric powertrains, components, and manufacturing. Toyota has a different set of strengths: global scale, manufacturing expertise, engineering, financial power, brand recognition, and decades of experience producing vehicles at enormous volume. Put those capabilities together, and the partnership becomes much more interesting. BYD brings EV specialization. Toyota brings automotive industrialization. And the BZ3 shows what happens when those worlds collide. But there is also a risk. Depending too heavily on another company's technology could reduce Toyota's control over one of the most important parts of an electric vehicle. That's the gamble. Toyota is essentially betting that the short-term compromise is worth the long-term opportunity. Use today's technology while developing tomorrow's. And if Toyota's solid-state battery strategy succeeds, the company could eventually combine its legendary manufacturing system with a completely new generation of battery technology. But if that technology takes longer than expected, Toyota still needs competitive EVs today. And that's where BYD becomes important. So perhaps the biggest story here isn't that Toyota partnered with BYD. The bigger story is that Toyota was willing to adapt. For a company built around manufacturing discipline and internal expertise, that's a significant strategic shift. Toyota may have realized that in the EV era, being able to move quickly can sometimes matter more than doing everything yourself. And that could make the Toyota-BYD partnership one of the most important strategic decisions Toyota has made during the transition from combustion engines to electric vehicles. Because if Toyota successfully uses partnerships like this to buy time, learn faster, and eventually launch its own next-generation battery technology, the BYD deal could look very different in hindsight. It may not have been a sign of weakness. It may have been the move that kept Toyota in the game. But now I want to hear what you think. Was Toyota smart to partner with BYD, or should a company as powerful as Toyota have developed everything itself? And if Toyota's solid-state battery strategy succeeds, could Toyota eventually come back and challenge BYD on its own terms? Tell me your answer in the comments. And if you want more breakdowns of the technology reshaping the automotive industry, subscribe to Future Tech Drive. Because the future of cars isn't just about who builds the fastest vehicle. It's about who controls the technology underneath it. This is Future Tech Drive. Turn technology into the future.